guys, Craig Haskell here. I'm really excited today to be talking about the 8 steps to syndicating your own deals. If you're an agent, maybe you're an investor or a manager, some kind of service provider, and you're in the real estate industry, hey, I've got this 8 steps that you can follow that I'm going to go through so you can start syndicating your own deals. And it's a time that you could finally get going. It's a time you can get in the game because now I'm giving these 8 steps to follow. But if you think about it, you're already in the real estate business. You're in the game, right? So let's reinvent your business so that you can start leveraging some of the contacts you have, some of the people you know, some of your experiences using these 8 steps. And as I walk you through these 8 steps, I want you to think of ways that you can integrate these 8 steps into your current business, the business you're in right now. How can you take these 8 steps and capitalize on your existing business and use these 8 steps to start syndicating your own deals so that you can start getting some of those back-end profits and you can start building your wealth? I mean, that's what it's all about. So as I go through these 8 steps, remember, I want you to think about how you can integrate these steps into your business. All I'm doing is really giving you a framework. I'm giving you a step-by-step process so that you can start to organize your thoughts and see how this might affect your business, how you can implement and execute these 8 steps to start syndicating your own deals so that you can start building your wealth. You're in the business right now. You're a professional in this game, and the music are right under your fingers, and let your fingers roll, okay? So let's jump right in. Let's talk about the first step. The first step is to pick your specialty. And I want you to pick a specialty because I don't want you chasing rabbits. I don't want you chasing rabbits. What I find is a big mistake that new syndicators make is they're chasing rabbits. They're chasing all types of properties in markets scattered everywhere. Everywhere. They're running everywhere. Here I go. They're chasing rabbits. And I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is I want you to pick a specialty. That's what I want you to do. And you might ask yourself, why, Craig? Why do you need to pick a specialty? And the answer is simple, because most successful syndicators, they specialize in something. They specialize in a property type in a certain location. That's what they do. So what you'll need to do is you got to pick your area specialization. I want you to pick a property type that you have some kind of experience with and something that you're passionate about that gets you excited, right? You already have that, but I want you to pick your specialization. It might be apartments, could be shopping centers, office buildings, industrial buildings are kind of getting big right now. Self-storage. How about self-storage? You got to pick that investment type. And then you got to decide, okay, what size property am I going to focus on? What's it going to be? And you think about it, since you're just getting going, I really recommend that you start small. I want you to keep it simple. The deals are going to get bigger. They're going to get bigger when you start to grow your business and future acquisitions. But what's more important, guys? It's more important that you get a deal done. You've got to give yourself every advantage to making sure you get that first deal done because when you get that first deal done, you're going to step on it. It's going to be a little stepping stone right there. You're going to step on and launch into more stuff, more deals, bigger deals. But you got to get that first deal done. All right? So next, I want you to specialize in a market. I want you to pick a market where the fundamentals are strong, right? Rents are growing. That's a value opportunity. That's probably an undervalued market that when you buy today, rents are going to go up and it's going to increase value. But you might be thinking, gosh, Craig, where am I going to find a market like that? But the reality is there's great deals everywhere. They're there. If you're really good at your product type and your market, you're going to find those deals. And so I recommend that you stay at least 100 miles within your home or office. I don't want you traveling too far. I want you to specialize in that area. If you're going to have investors interested in your deal, they can't be, driving 6 hours or flying an hour or 2 hours to get to your property. Keep it simple. Because you're already in this real estate business and you most likely may have your own specialty. And if that's the case, then I want you to focus on that. What I don't want you doing though, is I don't want you chasing rabbits. All right? So that's step one. Let's go into step two. Step two is to create your investment strategy. And I want you to create your investment strategy before you search for deals. I want you to find out what it is you're looking for. Because one of the biggest problems that I find with new syndicators is they're out there just chasing deals. They don't really have a plan. And this is what I hear from people. I say, gosh, Craig, I can't find any good deals. I'm looking everywhere. The cap rates are so low, I can't find any deals. Or Craig, I'm out talking to investors and I'm having a hard time getting them excited. And you know what it comes down to, guys? It comes down to a strategy. You got to have a strategy before you go out looking for the deals. I mean, if you're going to go on a hunting trip, don't you need to know what you're going hunting for before you go on the trip? Don't you? Sure you do. You got to have a plan. And on your hunting trip, you're going to know where you're going. You're going to know the type of equipment you're bringing. I mean, you're going to know what you're looking for. And it's the same thing with your syndication business. What I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you have an investment strategy. You got to be able to communicate to your investors and to others helping you find deals. How are you going to make money with the property? How are you going to make money with your deal? That's your investment strategy. And really, it comes down to a game plan. That's what investment strategy is. It's a game plan. It's my plan as I go to market, how I'm going to execute. Okay? So step two, make sure you have an investment strategy. Now, in step three, I want you to build your investor pool. And what I found that the biggest concern of new syndicators is they have a hard time, pooling investors together. Think about it. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought, gosh, how am I going to raise money? Well, you're not alone, because a lot of other folks just getting in this business have been on that same page. They understand that. And so, unfortunately, what most syndicators do is they actually wait until they have a property on a contract. They go out and find a property, put it on a contract, and then they try to raise money for their deal. And I got to tell you, talk about stress. I mean, you're into the short time fuse to go out and raise money, and no one even knows what you're doing until you have a deal tied up, and it's too much. At some point, as your business gets bigger, you're going to be able to do this because you're going to have a pool sitting there. But I don't want you to fall in this trap. I want you to get your pool money investors excited before you find a deal, right? And so I have a 4-step process I'm going to walk you through to help you do that. First thing I want you to do is I want you to put together a pitch book. And this pitch book is your investment strategy. That's what it is. It's going to be 6 to 8 pages. It's your game plan on how you're going to make money invest in real estate. And that's how people get excited. They get excited based on your investment strategy. So step two, second thing. Now I want you to create a list of investors. And this list is really important. And the best place for you to start with the list is family and friends, right? Family and friends money. Think about all the businesses that get started. Most of it gets started through family and friends. But what's kind of cool is you are a real estate professional and you have this huge database of contacts. And so I want to walk through some of the areas that may be a place for you to go to get people to add to your list. All right, so the first thing is business associates. How about former clients or existing clients? I'm working with someone that's got 400 clients, 400 plus clients. I mean, that's a pretty big resource you can tap into. How about accountants or financial planners? They're managing money. Or attorneys and doctors, always looking for deals. Property owners love real estate. They love real estate. That's their game. And they're a great source. So this list that you're going to put together, it's only your starting point, but you got to get the list together. And what I want you to do when you're in the process of putting that list together, make sure that you ask people that are already on your list if they know of anyone else that might have an interest in what it is you're doing, because you'll be shocked and amazed at the people that will get referred to you just because of that. So get that list built. Number 3, I want you to conduct investor meetings. I want you to go out and have breakfast, have a cup of coffee, do lunch, whatever it is. And I want you to sit down with your pitch book and I want you to talk about it. I want you to talk about your investment strategy to make money, because that's how you get them excited. And during these meetings, you're not really selling anything. All you're trying to do is build those relationships, because people invest with people they know, like, and trust. And so all you're doing is sitting down with them, let them know what you're doing, get them a little excited. And then you're going to say, hey, if I come across a great deal, would you have an interest? Which leads me to the next step, to build your database. And those people that say, yeah, I'd have an interest, they go in your yes database, But you haven't found a deal, right? So what you got to do is you got to add them in your database, and you got to stay in contact with them. So you're going to put together, a drip campaign where you're going to send them emails, you're going to send them articles, maybe stories of other people making money in that market, stats on the marketplace, and so forth. And you're basically just going to stay in front of them to keep them excited so that when you do get a deal, you got a place to go. And so now that we've kind of walked through these 4 steps, you basically put together your investment strategy. You put together a list, went out, met with people, and started adding people to your database. So now in step 4, we're going to go out and find a deal. We're going to find a deal that fits the type of animal that we're going hunting for. But what I want you to take note of is we've gone through 3 previous steps, and we haven't even started looking for a deal yet. And most people, the first thing they do is they go out and look for a deal. Well, we've been organized. We're structured. We're on step 4, and now we're looking for a deal. But I want to tell you, this is the most important step in the entire process. I mean, guys, it's a must that you find a great deal, especially on your first one. You got to find a home run. You got to find a great deal. So, Craigie boy, what is a great deal? What are deals that are considered great? All right, so I've come up with 4 big ones, right? These are 4 big reasons why you need to find a great deal. And the first one is pretty simple. If you're just kind of getting going and you don't have that experience, they don't have that track record, if you find a great deal, it's going to help overshadow some of that inexperience. It's going to help overshadow that lack of track record because you got such a great deal. And also, if you find a great deal, it's going to make that fundraising when you go out talking to investors a lot easier because they're going to see the profit potential. And another reason, when you're sitting down talking to them about that great deal, guess what? You get excited. You are pumped up. You are so, hey guys, I found this awesome deal. This thing, we're going to load the truck up. I mean, I can buy this thing so cheap, 30% below replacement cost. We're going to hold the property for about 4 years and we're going to make X return. I mean, that enthusiasm comes across. They get excited. So you got to find a great deal. And one of the last reasons you got to find a great deal is because people ask me, how do you split profits between the partners and the syndicate? How does that work? And I always say, it just depends. And it depends on this last reason, because if you find a great deal, you can carve up more stuff for yourself. You can carve up more fees, more back-end profits. So it's really important to find a great deal. I want you to find a home run. I want you to find a great deal for your first one. So I've been asked, what is a great deal? And I generally, come down in 3 or 4 things that I think a great deal is. Obviously you want to buy it as cheap as you can. So ultimately, I'd like to buy a deal at least 20% below intrinsic value, 20% below intrinsic value. And I'd like to have that deal at least generate a 15% IRR. And it better provide cash flow at least by year 2, because some of you might be value guys where you're buying a property, has some vacancy, has some deferred maintenance. You got to give it a little bit of love. That takes a little bit of time. But by year 2, that baby better be throwing off some cash flow. Okay? So that's kind of the keys to what a good deal is. But ultimately, the best gauge, the best determination of a great deal is that you can immediately turn around and sell that property for a profit. Day 1, hey, I'm buying this property and tomorrow I can turn around and make a profit. That's how you tell you have a great deal. So I want to make sure that you go out in step 4 and find a great deal. And then when you find a great deal, in step 5, you got to analyze it. You got to say, hey, is this really a great deal? And it's important for you to make sure you get that great deal, because you got to buy the property right. That's where the future profits are. And what I want you to do to really make sure this is a deal that's going to be a great deal is you got to ask some questions. You got to find answers. And I've got a list of a few things that are real important that I want you to find answers to, okay? Well, first thing I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to go out and find out if the market that you're buying the property in, is it growing or is it contracting? I want you to find out what the crime rate is in the area. And then how does your property, the property you're buying, how does it compare with other properties? How are the rents? Can you buy a property that has low rents compared to the marketplace? How does the class of the property compare? How does a property compare as far as a valuation on a cap rate standpoint, or price per unit, or price per square foot? How does that property compare? What's the market telling me? I want you to find out, hey, is there a way that we can create, or is there a way we can add value to the property? And during your analysis, you're going to look at it and say, hey, is this property undervalued? Can I buy this thing 20 to 25% or more below intrinsic value? You got to ask that. But there's really one big question. And you got to do all this research, but the big question at the end of the day is this a property that I want to own? Is this a property I like? Can I get excited about this property because I'm going to make money with it? You got to ask that question. So in this step, when we're analyzing deals, it's real important to crunch the numbers. And the best way to crunch the numbers is to get some software, some investment analysis software, crunch the numbers, scrub it down, make sure it makes sense. And there's tons of softwares in the marketplace. I want you to spend some time researching that because it's really important to make sure that you analyze the deal and that you really like it, okay? So let's say that we analyze the deal and we say, yeah, this is a great property. I really want to own this property. So that takes us to step 6. We're going to tie the property up. We're going to put it under contract. We're going to get it into escrow so that we have the deal tied up and we can really take that next step, which is to perform some due diligence. I really want to make sure, and I can't stress enough, that you perform complete and thorough due diligence. I want you to scrub this baby down, inside and out. I don't want surprises. I hate surprises. So I really want you to go through that process of uncovering everything, because that's a process for you to go back to the seller or whomever and make sure the deal works out right for you. And you're getting ready to roll into step 7, which is to fund the deal, right? So now you're getting ready to remove your contingencies, and you got to go out and provide the financing. And there really are 2 pieces to this financing, right? You got the debt side and you got the equity side. So on the debt side, you're going to engage a loan broker. I want you to get a loan broker because they're going to help you find the right loan for you at a cheaper cost and make the whole process a lot easier. If you're assuming a loan, I want you to spend some time working with the lender on completing the documentation for that loan assumption, or gosh, in today's marketplace, maybe it's a loan workout. But on the debt side, I want you to work that side of it. And then on the equity side, it's time to go out and get your deal package up. You're going to go to your attorney and they're going to put together documentation, and then you're going to go out and meet with investors and tell them about your deal. One of the concerns that new syndicators have in this equity side is they think attorneys got a cost and all the time, and I don't want you to worry about that, guys, because they're just a member of your team. You got to have professionals around you. You got the property manager on your team. You got an accountant. Maybe you got a loan broker, real estate broker, some contractors, what have you. They're just another contractor, and the cost of the legal fees are going to come out of the deal. You're going to raise money from the partners, and part of that money goes to pay legal costs. There's a little line on them right there to pay that. So I want you to make sure you got this thing all packaged up legally and it's all packaged up right. I want you to go out there and raise the money, okay? Now you got the money raised, you got the financing lined up. It's time to go to step 8. Close the deal and get paid. And what's cool is this last step, it's the most fun step because you're going to get your deal closed and you're going to get paid, all right? You spent all this time finding the deal, packaging everything up, getting it closed. It's nice to reward yourself and get paid. And that's part of the deal you'll have structured with your partners, and you're going to get paid. And the escrow company is essentially working with the seller to make sure all the documents are in order. They're working with your lenders to make sure the financing piece is set up. And then you're working with your investors to get all that money pooled together into the partnership account. And then you're going to wire those funds into escrow, and you're going to close your deal. You're going to close your deal. And there you go. I mean, we just went through 8 steps from beginning to end for you to start syndicating your own deals and start reinventing your business right now. So I want you to act on these 8 steps. I want you to take advantage of this training I just gave you, and I want you to start syndicating your own deals. Use these 8 steps to put your own syndications together, to get things organized and structured so that you can start making some back-end profits and capitalizing on today's great buying opportunity.